Hello guys and welcome to today's video. We are doing a three-peat today because now we are talking about Tropical Cyclone Gombe here. Um, the models are kind of going crazy with this thing in the Mozambique channel, and we're going to take a look at this tropical cyclone as now it's starting to make landfall, in Madagascar right now. This is located at 15.6 south, 51.3 east. Maximum sustained winds are at 35 knots or 40 miles per hour, but I think it's more than this right now. I think it's more like 50, 45 or 50 knots. Minimal sensor pressure is at 1,000. So that is what the statistics are for this thing right now. So here is the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, and I gotta believe that this is a very questionable conservative estimate that Joint Typhoon Warning Center is putting out right now. They only have this going to a 60 knot peak, and I will show you why that's very conservative here in short order. Um, I just don't think that this is a thing. I just don't think that 60 knots is going to do this system justice. Now, granted, this is the first advisory from them. So, we're just going to have to see how it all pans out, going forward through the next, couple of days and, you know, see how this all evolves from this point forward. All right, so here is the GEFS track in minimal MSLP. And as you can see, it has a pretty weird track. It goes to the west and then straight south and southeast, going back into Madagascar as a pretty decent, moderate tropical storm. But like I said, once we take a look at the models, we'll see why this is kind of wrong here. So, as you guys know, I mention this every time that this black line here is the average of all these plots that you see on the screen, and it has it going down. The peak here is 990 millibars. That's at 96 hours out. But we don't know about these other points here and what those millibar pressures are. So, we're, like we said, we have to take this with a grain of salt. I mean, I hope to God it stays this week, but, I just don't foresee that. And I don't want anybody to say that I'm a hype master here because, I don't like to hype things up. I show you guys what it is. I call it how it is. And, you know, I just try to give out the best information that I possibly can to the people out there. But this is a serious. This could be a very serious situation once it gets into the Mozambique channel. Just it's just it could be bad. So here's the GEPS tracks in minimal MSLP, and as you can see, it's pretty much showing the same as the GEFS, with 994, 992 being the peak, here, and it pretty much does the same thing too, track wise. Goes pretty much west and then south, so it must be going towards that bending around that ridge of high pressure. So because this is in the southern hemisphere, these systems go south around the high instead of north around the high. So that's pretty interesting. I find that interesting. So with that being said, let's take a look at the GFS, and this is going to be interesting here because GFS shows a monster here. As you can see, this was initialized at 18Z today, and this is 6 hours out. So around, it was probably initialized at 2 p.m., right? About 1 or 2 p.m. So it'd probably be about 7 or 8 right now, Eastern Daylight Time, this happening right here. So as you can see, it's 996 millibars, and it's a pretty decent system. And as it heads towards Madagascar here, it makes landfall as a 995, and then as you can see, it kind of just weakens. It weakens a lot actually, and then it shows it going back over water here in about 42 hours, which I think is too slow. It's too slow. A lot of people think it's going to be about 24 hours of traveling time across land, which we'll have to see what happens from there. So as you can see, once it gets into the channel here, it starts to really pick up speed here. So, well, not speed, but strength here, 982 millibars. See if we can get a sounding. We can get a sounding. And as you can see, the shear levels is only 8 knots. So this is pretty favorable for explosive, rapid intensification here. And the relative humidity is only at 93. Not only, but it's at a staggering 93% here as we go out through time. And as we go to 96, now it's down to 959 millibars. So we're gonna take a look at the soundings here. Only 5 knots of shear and 90% relative humidity. So the channel has pristine conditions for Gombe to take the full advantage of it if things go according to plan and it follows the model guidances going forward. And as you can see, it's starting to race off towards the the coast here of Africa. And as you can see, 924 millibars. That's not a good look, guys. As you're talking about Africa here, this is one of the poorest countries in the world. And as you can see, there's 6 knots and 92% relative humidity here as we go out through time. And here's the last frame. I'm only going to go 120 hours out because that's just how it is. If this comes to fruition, I'm gonna feel bad, really bad for this coastline here of Africa. So let's go back and check out the total accumulations for the system. And as you can see, we're gonna start off here with Madagascar, and as you can see, there's some yellows and oranges popping up here, so they can see anywhere from 300 to 400 millimeters of rain, which is pretty decent. Um, it's kind of moving slow right now, but that's probably the cost for all of this rainfall right now to hit this part of Madagascar. All right, so now we're gonna move on to 120 hours out, and as you can see, this part of the coastline of Africa is picking up some decent amount of rain too. So this system is definitely going to cause some flash flooding in areas. Like I said, it's going to start off in Madagascar. God forbid you guys need some more flooding there after you guys had 5 tropical cyclones already. Now, we do count Cliff's remnants as a tropical hit, and now this is going to be the 6th one to affect Madagascar. That's crazy. They cannot catch a break whether you're in the south part of Madagascar, the central part of Madagascar, or now the north side of Madagascar. Everybody got a different flavor for every week in Madagascar. And I know I'm chuckling a little bit, but I know it's not funny, but it's just amazing how Madagascar has been the punching bag for all of these systems this year, and you gotta feel bad for them. That's just the honest to God truth. And then you got all this flash flooding that's going to happen here in the eastern part of Africa as we go out through time. And those people got to really watch out too. The Mozambique state of Africa. It's no joking matter. It's really not a joking matter. So with that being said, now we're going to take a look at the European. And now the European is a little less bullish than the GFS, and it's certainly a hell of a lot less bullish than the HWRF. And sadly, they kind of overrode, Gombe. So we don't have the HWRF model to show you guys, and I think that's for the best. That's for the best right now. As you guys saw a category 5 pretty much on GFS, and you definitely do not want to see the HWRF. I promise you that. All right. So this was initialized at 12Z. Actually, let's see if the 18Z is out yet. Nope, it is not out. So anyways, this was initialized at 12Z today. And this is showing a lot weaker, well, not a lot weaker, but definitely a weaker system than the GFS and what it is initially right now. So as you can see, kind of makes landfall here in about 12 hours, I think. But we all know it's going to make landfall here in about like 2 hours, maybe less. if it hasn't already made landfall already. So as you can see, it travels through northern Madagascar, and it kind of takes only about, I don't know, 19 hours to get off the coast. And as you can see, as soon as it gets off the coast, it starts to strengthen a little bit. It's not like a GFS strengthening trend, but it's still a pretty decent strengthening nonetheless. And as you can see, 72 hours. This is 3 days out. Is at 985 millibars. So let's take a look at the soundings here. And the shear is probably what is causing this to not blow up as extensively as the GFS and the H-Wolf right now. But the relative humidity is pretty good. It's at 84% right now. So as we go out through time, here's 96 hours. This is 4 days out. About to hit into Mozambique. Um, 12 knots and 85% relative humidity, which isn't bad. It's not bad, but it could be better. And here is, and this is something you don't want to see. This starts to stall out in Mozambique. That is serious flood implications if the European gets its way. And we are going to take a look at the rainfall totals right now, actually. And that's why I love what Levi does here, because now we get a better look at some of the dynamics of the European now that has been upgraded. So, with that being said, let's take a look at some of these rainfall totals. It's not as impressive as the GFS, but it's still, it's still pretty up there. We got some specks of, lighter colors here, which is probably indicative to 225 to 300 millimeters of rain here. So that's still enough to cause some flooding. Don't get me wrong. But as we go out through time, it starts to, like I said, it starts to stall out. And as you can see, I went a little bit farther so you guys can see what's going to happen here. But as you can see, once it gets to the coastline of Mozambique, that's some flooding rain right there. I can't stress this enough. I have, for the last 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, I've done probably a video series just about every week covering a storm that's going to affect some parts of Africa, whether it be Madagascar, Mozambique, or any part of Africa that these systems, come. And I stress every time, and every single time, all these models have showed significant amounts of rain. I always tell you guys, be safe, stay indoors, turn around, don't drown, and play it safe. Just stay home. If you're not able to get out, just stay home. And that's the case here. I want you guys to be able to watch my videos and get warned every time a storm comes your guys' way. Which I hope to God this is the last one you guys have to deal with this season. I pray to the gods that this is it after a while. So we get through Gombe and hope that we get a clean straight of no storms coming towards Africa whatsoever. And I will definitely be keeping a watch out for that for you guys as we go forward. And here is the last thing I want to look at today before I end this video up is the sea temperatures here in the Mozambique channel, because right now that's going to be the most important part of this storm's journey. It's the Mozambique channel. And as you can see, this is jet fuel here. We got 29s, we got 30s. Who knows if we got specks of 31 in there somewhere? We probably do. But this is jet fuel, guys. This is what this storm is going to feed off of once it gets back out over water, once it's done with Madagascar. So, if, like I said, if the GFS gets its way, you're looking at close to a Category 5. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a hype master. I don't hype. I give you guys the truth and nothing but the truth. And I'm worried. I'm worried about this. If GFS and H-Wharf gets its way, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad. And honestly, I hope it don't happen. But we gotta take the truth for what it is and what the models are showing. Obviously, we didn't take a look at CMC, Icon, and all those other stuff. But maybe tomorrow I'll take a look at those other models too to see if they all line up with the other, major models. And with that being said, Madagascar, get ready for a wild night tonight with flooding on the way. Um, God forbid you guys need more flooding. Um, After that, it's going to be heading into the Mozambique Channel, where it could strengthen very rapidly. And then it can. It's GFS. At some point turns it back into Madagascar as a Category 4, and affecting Mozambique as well. So for anywhere from Mozambique to Madagascar again, but this time on the west side, needs to really pay attention to this storm. And I will definitely be keeping on track of this for you guys as we go out through time. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I love you guys to death. Be safe. Tune in. I'll have another update for you guys tomorrow. And stay safe and peace out. Catch you on the next one.